Hello, in today's lesson we are going to learn how to find the surface area of prisms and cylinders. As you go through this video, I encourage you to take notes, hit pause as needed, rewind as needed, and make sure you thoroughly understand each concept before moving on to the next. We will begin with a general definition of surface area. Surface area is the amount of material that it would take to cover the outside of an object. Surface area is always measured in square units. To help illustrate this, we'll begin by looking at the surface area of a rectangular prism. If you look at this rectangular prism, there are 6 faces. All of them are rectangles. I've taken this rectangular prism and I've pulled it apart into something called a net, which is essentially you unfold this rectangular prism, and you can see I've done that on the right. I tried to color code things to help explain this to you. You have the top and the bottom, which the top and the bottom are the yellow rectangles. They have dimensions of 4 centimeters by 6 centimeters. You can see I put that on the graph paper, 4 units long, 6 units tall. Then you have 2 rectangles that are green. Those are each 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters. So 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters in the net. And then the right and left side are blue. Those are each 2 centimeters tall and 6 centimeters long. So the blue ones are 2 centimeters by 6 centimeters. So in order to find the surface area of this rectangular prism, we're going to go ahead and find the area of each of the different faces, and we'll add them up. We'll do them 2 at a time since the faces come in equal sized pairs. Let's start with the top and the bottom. Top and bottom are the yellow sides. So those are 4 by 6. So 4 by 6 gives you an area of 24 centimeters squared. Since the top and the bottom are the same, we'll simply multiply this by 2 and get an area of 48 centimeters squared. I'm going to circle this to help keep myself organized. Then I'm going to look at the green side. So we have the front and the back. Each of those are 2 centimeters by 4 centimeters. So it's 2 times 4, or 8 centimeters squared. And again, there's 2 of them, so I'm going to double that and get 16 centimeters squared. And again, we'll circle this because this is going to be an important number we're going to use again later. And then finally, we'll take the blue sides, which are the right and the left, and those dimensions were 2 centimeters by 6 centimeters. So we'll simply take 2 times 6, get 12 centimeters squared. And then we'll double that and have 24 centimeters squared. And we're going to circle that answer. And now we simply have to take these 3 answers and add them up. So 48 centimeters squared, 16 centimeters squared, and 24 centimeters squared gives a total of 88 centimeters squared. I like this method of figuring out the surface area of a prism because it kind of also gives you an idea why these are called centimeters squared. If you look at this picture, you can see it's made up of a whole bunch of small squares. Each of these squares is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. So, we could count them up, and if we added all of these up, there'd be 88 of them. Now let's work together to find the surface area of this rectangular prism. Please take a moment to pause the video and draw a picture of this rectangular prism in your notes so that you can follow along and work with me. Go ahead and press pause while you draw that picture and then rejoin me in a moment. Okay, we're going to follow a similar method to find the surface area of this prism. We're going to treat this like the 6 faces that it is. We'll find the area of each of the 6 faces and then add them up. We'll begin by finding the top and the bottom. So the top is a rectangle with dimensions 8 inches by 4 inches. So 8 inches times 4 inches gives you 32 inches. Since we're doing the top and the bottom, we're going to go ahead and double that, and we'll have 64 inches squared. Let's look at the right side and the left side next. The right side is 4 inches by 5 inches, so 4 times 5 equals 20 inches squared. We're going to double that to get 40 inches squared. And then last but not least is the front and the back. So the front is 8 by 5 8 times 5 is 40. We'll double that and get 80 square inches. Now we simply have to take our three answers to the top, bottom, left, right, front, and back and add them up for a grand total of 184 inches squared. And that's the surface area of this rectangular prism. Okay, now you're going to try this one on your own. So please press the pause button now and draw this picture and find the surface area of this rectangular prism. When you've finished, you can hit play again and see if you were right. Okay, hopefully you finished this on your own. I'm going to walk through finding the surface area of this rectangular prism so you can see if you did it correctly. Okay, let's start with the top and the bottom. So the top is 5 by 5. I got those dimensions the same as the bottom, 5 by 5. So we all know that 5 times 5 equals 25. We will double this and get 50 feet squared, 50 square feet. Let's look at the front and back next. So the front rectangle is 5 by 10. So 5 times 10 is 50. We'll double that. That gives us the front and the back. So we have 100 feet squared. So we've done top, bottom, front, back. We need to do the left and the right. Oh, look here. The left and the right are the same as the front and back. So we've kind of done that work already. It's 5 times 10, but I'll write that down again. So the two sides give you 50. We're doubling it, so we get both sides, and we have 100 square feet. Total all 6 sides up, and we have 250 square feet. When finding the surface area of a triangular prism, you're going to use the similar concept to finding the surface area of a rectangular prism. Of course, there'll be some differences because the ends are triangles instead of rectangles, but the main concept still applies. So this triangular prism has a triangle in the front and the back, and then there's a rectangle on 3 of the sides. This side, this yellow, is a rectangle. Back here, the side you can't see is a rectangle, and then the bottom is also a rectangle. So let's start by finding the area of each rectangle, and then the area of the 2 triangles, and we'll add them all up. Begin with this yellow triangle that you can see right in the front. The dimensions of that are 10 feet by 5 feet. So to find the area of a rectangle, it's just 10 times 5. That would be 50 square feet. This rectangle on the back side, the one you can't really see, is the exact same as this one on the yellow one on the front. You can see this is an isosceles triangle on the end, so this side is also 5 feet, and the length is 10 feet. So we're going to just simply take this measurement and double it, giving us 100 square feet. So we've taken care of 2 of the rectangles. We need to deal with this bottom rectangle. The bottom rectangle is 6 feet by 10 feet. 6 times 10 gives us 60 square feet. And we're not going to double that one this time because there's no other rectangle like it. Just transfer that measurement down here to make it easier for me to add later on. And now finally I need to do the triangle in the front and the triangle in the back. So to find the area of a triangle, we need to do 1/2 times base times height. So 1/2 times the base is 6 feet, times the height, which is 4 feet. So half of 6 is 3, and 3 times 4 is 12. So one triangle is 12 feet squared. So if we double that to get the triangle at the other end, we have 24 square feet. Adding up the 2 yellow rectangles, the base, the bottom rectangle, and the 2 triangles, we get a total of 188 square feet. Now we'll work together to find the surface area of this right triangular prism. This is a right triangular prism because of the right angle here in the corner, but the method for finding the surface area will be the same. Please take a moment to pause the video and draw this picture in your notes so you can work along with me. Okay, first let's begin with this rectangular side, the largest rectangle. The dimensions of this are 10 centimeters by 12 centimeters. So 10 times 12 is 120 square centimeters. Next, let's do the bottom rectangle. The bottom rectangle is 8 centimeters by 12 centimeters. 12 times 8 is 96 square centimeters. And let's do this rectangle in the back here. The height of that is 6, and this length is 12. 12 times 6 is 72 square centimeters. So now we've done the 3 rectangles, we need to do the triangles on the end. Since this is a right triangle, the height of the triangle is 6, the base is 8. So we'll do 1/2 times base of 8 times height of 6. Half of 8 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. So this end is 24 square centimeters. We have 2 of those, so we can either just double that answer or write it down again. And we're just going to total this all up, the 3 rectangles and the 2 triangles. And when we total this up, we get a total of 336 centimeters squared, and that's the surface area of this right triangular prism. Okay, we're going to find the surface area of one more right triangular prism this time. I'd like you to do this one on your own first. So go ahead and press pause now, draw the picture, find the surface area, and then you can check back in to see if you were correct. Okay, thank you for taking the time to solve that on your own. I'll work through it with you. I'll just give you the answer first. You should have had an answer of 370 square feet. If you got that, great job. You can move along. If not, here I'll work through it and help you out. So first we're going to find the surface area of this rectangle right here, which will be the same as the back one. As you can see, I drew in these symbols indicating that this side of the triangle and this side of the triangle are the same. This is an isosceles triangle on the end. So this side here is 10 by 13, which would be 130 square feet. The other side back here that you can't really see would be 10 by 13 as well, so another 130 square feet. The rectangle on the bottom is 5 feet by 10 feet, or 50 square feet. Let's look at the triangles next. The triangle facing us has a base of 5 and a height of 12. So 1/2 times base times height. So we have 1/2 times 5 times 12. It's not so easy to take 1/2 times 5, but because we can do the commutative property of multiplication, we can take 1/2 of 12 first, which would be 6, and then 6 times 5 is 30. So that's 30 square feet. The triangle on the other end is exactly the same. And we'll simply add up all of these, the 3 rectangles and the 2 triangles, and we'll get a total of 370 square feet. And that's the surface area of this triangular prism. Finally, we're going to look at finding the surface area of cylinders. When finding the surface area of a cylinder, you want to think of this as a circle on top, a circle on bottom, and then the part that wraps around, if you cut that off, it would open up and lay flat as a rectangle. So to find the surface area of each circle, we're going to use area equals pi times the radius squared. So the diameter of this circle is 6, so that means the radius would simply be 3. So we need to do pi times 3 squared. So pi times 3 squared, or pi times 9, is 28.26. Since we have 2 of those circles, we'll multiply that by 2, and when we multiply that by 2, we get 56.52. So the surface area of the 2 circles is approximately 56.52 centimeters squared. I'm going to circle that. We'll need that a little bit later. Now to find the surface area of this rectangle, we need to know how long this side is and how long this side is. This side we can get directly from the height of the cylinder is 10 centimeters. To find this side, What you're actually looking at is you're looking at how long is the circumference of this circle. So circumference is equal to pi times diameter. So we simply are going to take 3.14 times the diameter of 6, and 3.14 times the diameter of 6 is approximately 18.84 centimeters. So to find the area of this rectangle, we need to take 18.84 times 10. And 18.84 times 10 is 188.4 square centimeters. So now we have the area of the rectangle, which makes the outside casing of the cylinder, and we have the area of the top and bottom circle. So we simply add these two areas together to get our total area of approximately 244.92 square centimeters. Let's work on finding the surface area of this next cylinder together. So please pause the video, take a moment, draw a picture of the cylinder. Also write down the formula, because this time we'll talk about how we can use a formula to find surface area of a cylinder. So this formula essentially does what we just did without a formula. It finds the two tops and bottom, the top and bottom, that's why it's pi r squared times 2. It also finds the side, which is the circumference, 2 times pi times r, or same as pi times diameter, times the height. So we'll go ahead and use the formula this time to find the surface area of this cylinder. So beginning with 2 times pi times r times h. So it's 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 5, times the height, which is 12. I know this is lying on its side, but this is how tall that cylinder is if we stood this up. Okay, we will add to that 2 pi r squared, so 2 times 3.14 times the radius squared, so 5 squared. Okay, so it's a good idea to use correct order of operations. So we're going to make sure we do our exponent first and get 25. After doing 5 squared, you're going to take 2 times 3.14 times 5 times 12, which gives you 376.8. And you'll do 2 times 3.14 times the 25, which is 157. You will add those two answers together, which gives you your total surface area of 533.8 squared feet. And that's the surface area of your cylinder. Let's finish this lesson by finding the surface area of one more cylinder. So go ahead and hit pause, draw a picture of the cylinder in your notebook, copy down the formula, and figure out the surface area of this cylinder. When you're finished, you can check back and see if you were correct. Okay, to find the surface area of this cylinder, I'm going to use the formula again. So we're going to do 2 times pi, about 3.14, times the radius, which is 7, times the height, which is 14 inches. We'll add to that 2 times pi again, it's 3.14, times the radius squared, so 7 squared. Again, start with your order of operations. Make sure you do your exponent first. You get 49. And 2 times 3.14 times 7 times 14 is 615.44. And 2 times 3.14 times 49 is 307.72. When we add these together, we get a total of 923.16 square inches. And that would be the surface area of this cylinder. And please remember, when you're finding the surface area of a three-dimensional object, basically you're just simply finding the area of every surface and adding them all together. So that might be a rectangular prism, which would have 6 rectangles, or it could be a cylinder with 2 circles and a rectangle. You're just finding, again, each surface, the area of each surface, and adding them all together.